Even though these events sort of came, call it destiny, call it, they landed in your lap, how, technically speaking, did you get to Spanish Harlem Orchestra? What sequence of events led to that?
Well, when I was called, Spanish Harlem Orchestra was a phone call that I got from a producer who was not a musician. He's a music producer. He actually was a DJ. And he got called to do a concept record for Warner Brothers Records. So he calls me if I could help him put this together. This was in the year 2000. And of course, I felt he called the perfect person. But what led up to that event was, by that time, the reason he called me was that I already had a career having played with Machito, with Tito Puente, with Celia Cruz, with Ray Barretto, with Ruben Blades. And I could mention about another 40 other artists that were part of, my career, who you may not know of, but they were all important people as part of the fabric of what this music is. So when people now look at me, I'm the real deal. I'm the facilitator of a great legacy from people that gave it to me who are no longer here anymore. Most of those people are not here. So I figure it's my turn to keep that legacy alive and well and on the pedestal it merits to be on, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud, and I know how to do it because, I learned from all those people. I traveled the world from all those people. So that led him to calling me about Spanish Harlem Orchestra. So we did the record. I put everything together. We had numerous discussions about the concept. He had certain ideas which I didn't like, but I had to kind of acquiesce on certain points. But we put the first record together, make a long story short. The record was subsequently put in the can and dropped a year and a half later by Warner Brothers after the record was done. And then he sold it to a small label, a friend of his who had a small label. They released the record, and the record got nominated for a Grammy. From then on, I formed the band. The second record I produced won the Grammy, and we've been traveling the world ever since. It's no doubt one of the best bands that exists of any kind of music, but for sure one of the best bands that exists of salsa and Latin jazz. And we've traveled the world. We've played every major stage. Miriam, to be honest with you, the feedback that I get from our performances is so amazing. And it's such an amazing feeling because people come up to me and go like, oh my God, this is, because I'm there signing CDs. There's a line. People says, I've had people saying, I want you to know something. This is the best music I've ever heard. So I get those kind of reactions. It just, my bandmates are all clear on the mission because we all have an incredible passion for this music. They're clear on the history that we represent. They're clear on the culture that we represent. For me, yo estoy sumamente orgulloso de representar lo mejor de lo que somos nosotros latinos a través de lo que yo hago con mi música. So I'm extremely proud of representing the best of my culture through what I do. And now 4 Grammys later, there's no BS here. And pardon my New York, I'm very New York, as you can tell.
You're a legend now. You're a legend.
I have to laugh because I'm out in Seattle, right? And we're performing at the Jazz Alley. We're performing a week there at the Jazz Alley. And I get off the stage, this lady comes up and goes like, oh, I love the way you talk.
Like a New Yorker?
I'm going like, what is she talking about? I didn't realize I have an accent, but I guess I do.
You're a New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm a diehard New Yorker.
You're a New Yorker.
So I'm living in LA, but I can't seem to get rid of it.
No. You never get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So I mean, do you feel that you are bringing this music to people? I mean, obviously Latinos love this music. We grew up with it. We know it's like, you can't go to a Latin house, for lunch without having the stereo blaring, Celia or Tito or whoever. So, but with the, you're traveling in Europe, you're traveling in all these countries. How do you reach out? I mean, what do you think this music is doing for people who didn't grow up with it? What are they discovering in it that makes them so, open and appreciative of it?
Well, again, on the level that we're doing it with Spanish Harlem Orchestra, I think there's a raw, organic, but yet sophisticated. There's this, that's what we bring to the table. Kind of Latin music lost its way somewhat in the late 80s and 90s because it became very pop, very commercial. So I preceded that. I was already recording in the 70s when
Right.
we would record live. We went into the studio at Fadia Records, La Tierra recording studio, and we'd be recording live with 13, 14, whatever, 10 musicians live. Those days are no longer like that. It's not done like that. We still do it like that with Spanish Harlem Orchestra. And we have a certain touch that people feel the drive. Not only that, but I think in our case, they feel the energy of us loving what we do. When you see a performance with Spanish Harlem Orchestra, you see between the chemistry of the three singers up front relating to the horn section relating to the rhythm section, the rhythm section relating to the singers. It's just an awesome thing. And I can feel the audience. I'll give you another anecdota. We're traveling, this is about 5 years ago, traveling to St. Louis. And it's fun for me when we're traveling to a city I've never performed in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I go like, we're traveling to St. Louis. I'm saying, gee, I wonder what St. Louis is going to be like. And it's a hall of probably that fits like about 1,000 people, right? They're sitting in their seats.
Mm-hmm.
After the fourth song, the whole audience at once just stood up en masse and started giving us a standing ovation.
Oh.
And during the course of that evening, we received like another 8 or 9, 10 standing ovations. I mean, I'm saying, and we've gotten that reaction, but not quite like that. I'm looking at the musicians because they're looking at me. I'm going like, gee, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but and the audience gets a kick because I'm very in the moment and I try to be very genuine about what I do. So I'm telling him, and I'm telling the audience, says, man, you know what? You guys are amazing. This is amazing. I know we get great reaction. And then you hear the comments, people yelling from the audience. And so that's kind of the reaction that makes it all worth it for me, Miriam, because the truth of the matter is, we make money off this and I'm making a living, but it's not about that. I make the money and I spend it. So it's not about the money.
Right.
It's about the impact that I feel we're having on people when they hear the music. And that, the love of the music for me generates everything. When I make a record with Spanish Harlem Orchestra, the new record we have, by the way, it's already getting amazing reviews. All right. The truth of the matter is, when I make a record, I have one criteria. And you can go in there as a musician and overanalyze and overthink it and go like, well, I need to do this, or I wanted to sell records, I want to do that. For me, it's one criteria. That at the end of the day, when I walk away, do I love what I'm hearing? And that's exactly what I go by. And, what my gut tells me. And the proof of the pudding for me is I'll be in a car, I'll be in a house, I'll be in a park, I'll be somewhere, and somebody will play one of the records that we did 4 or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I go like, damn.
That's good.
Exactly. So
you're a fan of your own music, is what you're saying.
I have to say, yes. I mean, I always tell people, obviously I'm biased. It's my music, but I'm creating it. But I think I'm not off base because there's a lot of people feel the same way like I do.
Absolutely.
So
do you feel that the Latin, do you feel like Latinos have just an extra when you talk about music, the way you talk about it and the way that I feel it when I listen to it is, as I said before, it just feels like joy. It's this, you know, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter how dark things are, no matter how, you know, difficult, how, you know, what life throws at you. I think what I love about, you know, Latin music is that it just, there's a joy there. There's a happiness and a, you know, celebration of life. Is that something that you feel is part of what, you know, you bring to it and what the music does for people and why it sparks?